What's everybody up, everybody?
What's everybody? Hey, how's it going, y'all? We are Boy Wonders Podcast. As always, I'm Dan.
And I'm Trev.
Gonna talk some comics tonight.
Yeah,
So how you doing, man? How's your week? What's been going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a weirdly long week. We had work was just work for the most part, and that's never fun. But that's been good. I sat in and recorded a podcast with some good friends of ours.
Yeah.
The Rushmore show. Very excited. It was great hanging out with Kirk and Andy for a few hours and
Oh,
talking
dude.
some television.
Those
So
dudes
that's
are
gonna
the
be
best. I
yeah,
love any chance I get to go on that show with them.
right.
Like
Yeah, no. So
straight
that was
up.
a blast. Yeah, that was a blast. If you guys are not following them already, please go check out the Rushmore show. They are
Get it
they are
going.
yes. So that episode drops on Monday. Very excited about that. We had, I mean, there was a lot of really good conversation. And other than that, just trying to read some books while dealing with work, and my our youngest, he is like a fully walking terror now,
Oh no.
and so yeah, I mean it's great. It's really cool watching him person, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, I like our free time is like now dwindling. So
Non-existent.
yeah. Um, Although before we get into what we're reading, I'd like to just shout out my wife real quick. So she decided to go online and find a company that does like mystery bags for comics.
Oh,
And
cool.
she bought me this mystery bag. It's like 20 some odd books, but I want to showcase some of the stuff here because some of the stuff I've never heard of. Like we have Dark Assassin by Chris Silver, and it's a uh there you go. It's a Greater Mercury Comics. So I'm assuming that's like a creator owned or a self-published book.
Oh, sick. That's cool.
Which
I'm not
yeah.
familiar with that. That sounds
No,
awesome.
yeah, no. There's a ton of stuff in here. So I've got a lot of Valiant stuff, like Bloodshot issue 1.
Oh, nice.
Valiant,
Oh, and
yeah,
that
dude.
foil cover, dude. That's
I
so
know,
cool.
man. Dude,
That's
I'm
so
telling
cool.
you that I like she like and she told me, she's like, I didn't know if there was gonna be anything quality in there, but like I wanted to just do something cool. Girl Dad, what's going on? How you doing, Andy? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
We have one of the most divisive Marvel runs ever, Secret Empire issue 8.
Yeah, yeah. You could say
Yeah,
that. That's putting it
but
lightly.
I got an Alpha Flight book.
Mm.
Yeah, issue 122 of Alpha Flight.
Love
The
that.
Holy Terror begins here, and it's an Infinity Crusade crossover too, man, which is
Oh, wow.
awesome.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, got Death's Head 2.
Okay.
Got got a Hercules book. I love
Fun.
Marvel's Hercules. He's a ton of he's just it's a goofy book, man. So I've got like the Shadow Strikes, X of Swords issue, Justice League Task Force book, which is really fun. A Legion of Superheroes. I got Ragman issue 2,
Really?
which yeah, like there
That's
you
cool
go.
because he plays a part in what we're talking about
I'm
tonight.
telling you, man. When I was telling so whenever I saw it and I got excited, and she was like, "Well, who's that?" I'm like, "Well, so he's a dude who has a cloak that consumes the souls of the wicked."
Right.
So I have in Action Comics. I mean, there's just a lot of really cool stuff here, but there's a couple of things I want to showcase. Um, One of which is from an Image. I don't know if it was like an event or something they did back in '93, but it's called Image 1963, and we have here Mystery Incorporated Book 1,
Oh, cool.
written by Alan Moore.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, dude, Mystery Incorporated. I think he did a short stint at Image for a bit.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is like I saw this. I'm like, all right, it says 1963, but it's Image. And I flipped it open and I was like, all right, who wrote this? Because this looks awesome. And it's Alan Moore. Then I also have
Win-win.
Youngblood issue 0. Shout out Rob Liefeld.
No, we don't do that here.
No? Okay.
We don't do that here. I'm just kidding.
Fine.
You do whatever
All
you
right.
want. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that's fine. And I have like Cyberforce issue 20. So I mean, a bunch of really cool stuff. A lot of Valiant books, man. Like I've got um, Mecha. I've got Magnus Robot Fighter, Shadow Man.
Yeah, that's what young Javis thinks of Liefeld.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, look. Yeah, all right. I'll allow it. DNA agents, though. This one is the wildest looking thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
Just
Hey, back it up a little bit. I can't really see. Oh, nice.
let me.
Who's
Yeah.
put that out?
So this comes from Eclipse Comics.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I
Eclipse, the
have.
same company that put out Destroyer Duck.
Yep, that's right. I know. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, Dan's gonna love this.
Yeah, dude.
And the writer is. Because I would love to. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Cool. So this doesn't even have the. Oh, there it is.
Sometimes they'll do it on the back because
Yeah.
Tom King does that a lot and puts the credits on the back page
Right.
after the
Okay.
comics done.
Mark Evanier wrote this. So that's cool. So
Not
I'm excited
familiar.
to read some of these.
Yeah, man, it's like a cool little trip down memory lane. You got a little bit of everything in there. I think
I'm
that's
telling
fun.
you, man.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to get into the Valiant books because I've read some weird random stuff from that label throughout the
Right.
years. But the one I'm most excited about for sure is this Dark Assassin from Greater Mercury Comics because again that feels like it's like just a creator owned and supported label.
Sick, man. Sick. And it looks like
Yeah.
it was like a big like magazine size,
Hmm.
like prestige format, whatever.
Yeah. Ow.
Hello.
Yeah. All right.
Hmm.
So, what are you reading?
What am I reading, dude? I am
Yeah.
still choking through Night Terrors. I know I
Nice.
think I've said that for the last 3 episodes, but man, I like, I got them, so I wanna read them, but
Mm,
man, that stuff is rough. Like, a lot of those tie-in books are not not very good.
yeah.
So, like I
I mean,
said,
that's the
still, like,
unfortunate. Yeah.
chugging through,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
That's the unfortunate part about those big like universe level story arcs is that it's just it's going to be so hit or miss.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why, like, what we're talking about this week,
Man.
just it really fires on all cylinders because it is not, chained to the DC canon, right? It's
Right.
an Elseworlds tale. It's its own thing. So they don't have to really work in how to do this crazy story, but also make it make sense in continuity. Like, I mean, for
Right.
Night Terrors, they took off for 2 months. Like, all the books basically took a 2-month break to put out a bunch of 2-issue tie-ins to this
Jeez.
series.
That
Right.
seems
So that's why I
ridiculous.
ended up having to read it because I was like, man, I was like, well, I
Right.
got the whole series now and I'm gonna miss 2 issues. And now I just wish I would have not and just been like, all right, those are gaps in my collection. I don't care. But we're here
Right.
now. I got about 4 more issues left, which isn't terrible, but I mean, considering I think the whole run was like 42 or 43 issues over a course of 2 months,
That's
it's a bit
insane.
it's a bit egregious. Not
Yeah.
not my favorite thing, but what I did want to talk about was like I told you, I watch Cartoonist Kayfabe. Obviously, I'm repping their
Yeah.
merch. Love those guys. Ed Piskor, Jim Rugg. Those dudes are rad. They always put a put you onto like new, like weird stuff that's like not super popular yet. It's like they're kind of like their whole thing. Like I said, they're outlaw comics, so
Right.
a lot of indie stuff, a lot of creator owned stuff. So what I'm super stoked about, I haven't had a chance to crack them yet. Like I said, work's been wild,
Yeah.
but Marty Keen over here at superherocomics.com, Zuper with a Z. All right. So he's got these dope little
We have a soup place here called Zoop.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was all.
But
Sorry.
no, you're good. No, I was just saying I thought there was more.
Yeah. No. No. It's you said Zoop with a Z. I'm like, hey, that you know, I like soup.
It's relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so right here, I got the first 7 issues of Steel Streets, which is dope because they're these nice little bitty formats,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, I
But
like that.
they're all on newsprint, they're all
I
black
was
and
gonna say it
gray,
looks
and
like
then
it is.
with red
That's
highlights
sick.
and things like that. Yeah, dude, super sick.
Dude,
This
that's
is like
awesome.
his homage to TMNT and like old Frank Miller Daredevil books. So like when I heard that
Great.
was the synopsis of it, I was like, all right, I'm picking it up. And dude, like you can tell each page, man, is just soaked with how much he loves the medium of comics. Cause like
Yeah,
he's very old school. Everything's like pen and ink, like, he uses like a lot of like Zipatone and different styles for shading and all that.
dude, that's
Like I said,
awesome.
I'll just keep flipping through it, man. It's like the books are just they're just so good. Everything's so crazy about it. Hello.
Give me
Welcome to the show.
hey, yeah, give me 2 seconds.
Mhm. Pew. It's just me. But yeah, no, I said Mighty King,
Yes.
or Mighty King, he is super awesome. He's got go check him out over on superherocomics.com. You can pre-order his bootleg Spider-Man 2, which
Okay.
sold out like
Okay.
almost
I'll
immediately.
have. I know we've had roof leaks throughout because of the
Hey
rain we've
man, mute your
had. I
mic.
will have.
But yeah, here you go. It's a live show. Here we are, guys. But yeah, no, over at superherocomics.com, you can pick up the first 7 issues of Steel Streets. And he's got bootleg Spider-Man 2 coming out at the end of the month, I believe, or I think the pre-order ends at the end of the month. So does a lot of really cool stuff, and it's just in a neat format. Everything's like newsprint, black and gray, with little splashes of red here and there. Um, super cool stuff. I couldn't be more pleased with the product I got, but also, I mean, it's comics. I'm here for it. Welcome back, buddy. You're still muted. Your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Good.
But yeah, Mighty Keen, superherocomics.com, Steel Streets number 8, and Bootleg Spider-Man number 2 coming out the end of the month. So
That is
go check
awesome.
them out.
Yeah.
Support the indie books, support the
Yes.
creator owned stuff. So that's what I'm here for, just to further the medium.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that's
Hey, Heather, Ross. Hey, how's it going? It's my girlfriend and her
boss
friend Ross. Well,
Ross,
our friend Ross. Really,
our friend
really good
Ross.
dude.
Ross who?
Well, not our friend, me and Heather's friend.
Oh, okay.
But
And
yeah,
you know what, James? I want to say, hold on. I want to defend Liefeld just a skosh. All right,
we
guys.
don't do that
Like,
here.
look,
Welcome, Sloan. Welcome.
we absolutely fucking will for 2.5 seconds. Liefeld created Deadpool. He's my favorite character. He may have wrote the worst Deadpool, but
And drawn the worst Deadpool.
yeah, I mean, but I yeah, all right. That's all. Like that's the extent of my
I
support
mean,
is that like
nah, man. I
he
mean, if you like poorly drawn hands and feet, that's your prerogative.
well, you know what, Daniel, I cannot draw hands or feet, so I can relate to it and I appreciate it.
Look, man. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, but I'm just gonna say that man got very far on mid mediocre talent. Yeah, dude.
Yes.
And yeah, that's
Yo,
just
Sloan, what's going on? Finn, hey
yeah,
buddy.
yeah. D Weezy's in the house.
Yeah, man.
You got
The
the
Rushmore
Rushmore
show.
show, so
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's Kirk. So
yep,
we
we
got
were just
Kirk, we
talking
got
about
Andy.
you fellas at the top of the show.
Yeah,
Looking
man.
forward to looking forward to seeing looking forward to seeing the finished product on Monday. So I've been reading uh not enough, but
Dude, neither of
actually,
us. We're slacking
yeah,
hard this
I
week.
know, big time. As everybody might have heard, just a little bit of work has just been
Yeah.
nightmarish lately. But roof leaks, man, it happens.
No, yeah,
Um,
but you're in a mall, man. Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure it's
man,
an older
it's an
structure,
old
so I
mall.
get
Yeah,
that.
it's been around since the '60s. But so I started rereading Identity Crisis, and I feel like that, like I'm gonna just touch on it a little bit and then move
Please
on to
do.
the other couple of books that I'm reading. But I feel like that book alone deserves its own episode for sure because of how impactful and divisive I remember it being at the time. And I tell you what, man, I started reading it, got 5, 6, 7 pages in, got to like the twist of all right. So just quick synopsis: Sue Dibney, wife of the elongated man Ralph Dibney, gets murdered, and it is all about trying to. It's a murder mystery book. It is not your typical superhero book. It is not like it's all capes and cowls, but we're trying to figure out who murdered Sue Dibney.
Yes.
And the twist at the beginning of the book regarding her death, I'm not going to spoil it now. Like, everybody go out and read Identity Crisis because we will
Yeah.
do an episode on it. And I want you to have the opportunity to just like get slapped in the face because it's been 15 years since I read it. And dude, it killed me. Like
Right.
I read it and I put it down and I went to
You're like,
bed because
I
like
can't do
I
it right
could not
now.
do it. Like I could not with it right now. But no, it is probably one of the most fascinating types of stories done in the DC universe because it is not like we're going to fight Darkseid or we're going to, it's not.
It happened
It's
in-house.
Meltzer. Yeah,
That's the thing.
exactly. Yeah,
It was
and
within the superhero community.
right. Yeah. I mean, like somebody murdered somebody in the superhero community and we had to figure out who did it. And it's
Right.
Meltzer and Morales, a creative team that did this and then said, "All right, peace, we're done."
Yeah.
And never touched it again. And I'm good with it. I'm good with it. They put out a
Wait, you said the
beautiful
artist was
the artist is Rick Rags Morales, right?
yeah, he did other stuff, man.
Oh no, I know, but they never worked together again.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
okay, okay. I
yeah,
was about to
yeah,
say,
no,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like yeah.
Meltzer never went back to comics after that.
No, yeah,
This is his singular
yeah,
comic. But no,
he's
yeah,
doing his history novels and all that.
right, yeah, no, the team never worked. Like they never worked in tandem again in
Right.
anything. But yeah, no, but no, like yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I also read my weekly issue of Once and Future.
Mhm.
hmm
Where you at there
And
now?
so right now, hold on, let me grab this. I am using until I can get a compendium or at least all the trades ordered. I am using a Comixology.
Okay.
Um,
There's nothing wrong with that, dude.
no, yeah,
Digital
and
the unfortunate future for comics, and most things
it is,
sell,
it
dude.
is. I mean, I love the convenience,
Yeah,
but
no, it's great because it's all at your fingertips, and you can
right,
store an
exactly,
entire bookshelf, I
right.
mean, I'm
So I'm
sure
at issue
my
eight. Issue eight is where I just finished, and that is where. Mm, come on, circle. I say I just read it, but I literally read this like 2 weeks ago. It feels like
Okay.
now.
But that's what I'm
So yeah,
saying,
no,
like,
it's when
because we
yeah,
were focused so hard on the series that we're
yes,
about to cover that
right.
we kinda were like,
All
let's
right.
just"
So yeah, no, Art like at this point, Arthur is back. Like he's
Okay,
back
cool.
and in the flesh, and we're off to the races for like the
It's such a good
main
book.
the main
Yeah.
arc. Dude, it's so fun. It is so fun.
Dude, I'm
Um,
telling you, just buckle up because that book gets even more wild,
yeah,
I know that it right now, it just looks like it's all about Arthurian legend.
dude, I can't
Just,
wait to see
like,
what kind of legend comes into play.
get ready. Just get ready, dude.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
I can absolutely appreciate that 100%. I so for the sake of like, being able to function with our show and stuff, I do have to go the digital route just because I mean it's simpler, it's easier, it's slightly cheaper, although that doesn't stop me from going out Golden Eagle Comics, shout out. Doesn't stop me from going and buying physical books, but it does help me a lot of ways. Oh, Sloan, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Yeah, we hopped on the StreamYard train, so it's
Yeah.
definitely been helping out the format and kinda giving us a little more of a professional look as opposed to, you know, our old Zoom episodes that we were doing where my audio was going through his computer
Yep.
into the
I mean, I would
into
like to
the
say,
speakers.
to be fair, if I had like a PC, which hopefully at some point I will have, it would have been different because I could actually route the audio through correctly. But using a Mac makes that impossible almost. So,
Right, 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 right. But yeah, man,
man,
dude, I haven't really been
I'm
reading
excited.
much, but
Yeah.
I did start a Donny Cates book that I totally forgot existed, and you know
Mhm.
I'm a big Cates fan.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
heard of The Ghost Fleet?
I have not.
Okay, so like I said, I'm only like 2 issues into it right now, and like I said, I have it digitally on my Kindle Fire that
Right,
I'll bring that to work sometimes when I have downtime.
right.
But it's basically during the, I guess, shoot, the Battle of New Orleans, right?
Okay,
Right? Battle of New Orleans, if you will.
New Orleans.
Uh,
No, it's New Orleans. Yeah,
New Orleans, New
New
Orleans,
Orleans.
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans. So, being just a quick side note, like being up here in Pennsylvania, when I tell
It's
people
the
I'm
worst.
from New Orleans, and they're like, "Oh, you're from New Orleans?" I'm like,
I'm like, no,
"No, no,
we
I'm
don't
from
do
New
that here.
Orleans." Yeah.
But yeah, the Battle of New Orleans, Jean Lafitte, General Andrew Jackson, right?
Oh
They
yes.
no, but that's where it starts, okay? So they're talking about the Ghost Fleet and like
Right,
the secret trade routes that the pirates were using. So basically,
dude.
they team up, right, to help one another out to so Jackson and his army can win. Flash forward to today, there's still a Ghost Fleet out there, and but it's
That's sick.
super armored 18 wheelers. Um, with like basically look like Fed escorts escorting
Nice.
this undisclosed package, you know. And like I said, about where I got far in the two main characters, they're driving the 18 wheeler. They have their two federal agent escorts escorting the
Yep.
fleet, and basically they get attacked by, it looks like, you know, just your typical terrorist bad guys, like ski masks, bulletproof vests. You know, they're like shooting missiles at the truck and all that stuff. And basically, they end up jackknifing the truck and then blowing up the side of it, and then whatever is in there escapes. And that's where I'm at now,
Nice,
and it's
dude.
pretty
That's
wild.
awesome.
But it has a weird, kind of spooky ghost story aspect to it because there's like the big ethereal glow when
Right.
the truck blows up and everything like that. So it's
That's
just
cool.
it's kind of neat. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see where it goes, and I'm sorry, it's Donny Cates and Daniel Warren Johnson.
Okay.
Javis is Daniel Warren Johnson fan, just like I am. He did Murder. He did the art for Murder Falcon
Okay.
and Wonder Woman Dead Earth. He did the art for that, and then Donny
Dude.
Cates, obviously
Okay. Yeah.
self-explanatory. Dude's
Right. Um,
the goat. I like him a lot.
I
But
like that as
he's
well.
also Daniel Johnson is just dropped this week was Transformers issue 1. He's writing and drawing it for Image because Robert Kirkman
Dude.
is writing a book called Void Rivals, and like I know it's a spoiler and they're only in issue like 4 right now, but it's okay.
Right.
Like the last page of Void Rivals, I think it's like RC shows up. So for the longest time, Transformers was IDW, like it was an IDW
Yep.
property? Yes, I did say Murder Falcon, Javis. Go pick up the Ghost Fleet, my man. Okay, go pick up Ghost Fleet. It's Daniel Ward Johnson doing cool, spooky action stuff. I think you'll like it, and Donny Cates is writing it. Anyway, Transformers issue
Yeah.
1 dropped
So
this last week.
that's
I don't need.
wild,
I haven't had a chance to read it yet, dude. I
dude.
haven't
I,
had a
so
chance
I
to read
can't
it.
believe IDW transfer or like they lost the right. Or I want to know the
I don't
story
know.
behind that.
I want to. I will do the research on that
Yeah,
and really
because
hit it hard this week, this upcoming week. So for the next episode, I'll talk on it.
yeah, the because the IDW Transformer runs, like all of their runs have been incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I love everything they've done with that, like with that property. I mean, like, okay, IDW is to Transformers as Boom is to Power Rangers to me. Like
Yeah.
it has been the gold standard. So I'm curious to see what that looks like as an image book.
Right. Well,
Um,
and it's cool because IDW, I mean, honestly, I mean, from the reports and stuff that I've heard, they're kind of like floundering a little bit. They're not like the
really,
top
okay,
tier like
yeah,
indie that they were. So, but
right,
really, all they had for the longest time was TMNT and
yeah,
Transformers and GI Joe.
yeah.
So,
Like they had the Hasbro line,
yeah, they literally had all of our '80s cartoons. Remember
right?
God Country? Yes, Javis, that will be a whole nother episode in itself. That book's great. It's another Donny Cates and with the artist Jeff Shaw. Super good. Check it out. But we're not going to get into that because we have to get
No.
into why
Wait,
we're
hold on,
here.
real quick. Real quick. Time out. We can't
Time out,
go
yeah.
into this without having first talked about the big thing that we're both reading, and that is Noctera.
Ooh, you finished it.
Scott Snyder. I did, dude. Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniel. I knew to expect greatness when you said, "Hey, read this book Scott Snyder's writing," and I didn't expect to feel everything I felt.
Oh,
To
dude, that last issue.
I mean, I'm in awe. Like, it is so good, and the fact that we're getting more. So I'm not gonna again. This is something I want everybody to go out and read. Noctera. I'm not spoiling this for you, but I can tell you there are 16 issues. There are 3 spin-off books. One of which is mandatory reading. It is the bridge between issues 15 and 16. It is absolutely you have to read this to read issue 16. It's what they put out last month instead of finishing
But
out
also
the
the one shots that you're talking about, the little
yeah,
spin-off issues,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
included in the trades. And I think the
Okay,
third
perfect.
trade is coming out,
Okay.
I think sometime
All
next
right.
month. So
Okay,
there'll be
awesome.
3 trades, and that's the
Yep,
first arc, right? The
yep,
first
yep.
shebang
And
of the big PM, right?
yeah, and it's going to continue, which I mean, I'm so glad for. But if Scott Snyder had just said, "Hey guys,
This
we
is it.
wrote this. This is it," I'd have been fine because it is a complete story. Leaves a lot of things up. Like you could absolutely write more, and that's Snyder's such a genius. He is such a
Yeah.
genius writer, and he he's one of the few authors that of this generation, I think, that just never writes himself into a corner. As an original creator, um, I've never read anything that he's written that he couldn't just spin off from or do something else
Right.
from or just, do more. Looking at you, witches. We're talking about you next week or next time. Um,
Yes.
but no,
Spooky
so
season. Let's talk
Noctera.
about the scary books, boy.
Yeah, that's right. It is spooky season, and we're kicking spooky season off with a bang.
Bang. But before we jump into that, remember we got something that we wanna watch with them.
Oh yeah. Speaking of spooky season, so I don't know if a lot of you are big fans of B movies, but I know that both of
Or
us.
more importantly, Trauma Productions, Trauma Films.
Yes.
So if you guys hadn't heard, um, The Toxic Avenger is being remade, okay? I don't know if any of you guys grew up with that, but I did, and I definitely saw that at an age I should not have seen it at.
I feel like there's no proper age to
No,
see
yeah,
that
no.
movie,
No, not
to
even a
be
little bit.
honest.
It's very schlocky B movie splatter fest, gross
Hmm.
out humor, very un-PC, right? Um, but it's just like a very sweet like nugget of my childhood. And they released the teaser trailer, and like I said, since we got this new format, we're kind of trying out new things, so bear with us. But we're gonna try to watch the teaser with everybody, and we'll see
Yep.
if it works. And if it doesn't work, then so be it.
We'll figure it out
But
next time.
yeah, we'll figure it out next time. But we just want to try something new and see if the format will hold up with this. So without further ado, we got the Toxic Avenger teaser trailer.
There are still no leads as to the identity of
the freaky folk hero remains at large. Sir, what did you see last night?
I heard gunshots, saw blood. Handsome fella had his arm tore off like wet bread. The creature will run off into the night.
It looks like a fucked up hot dog.
That part was very shocking to me. Motherfucker.
Can we put that on anyone that may have encountered the strange? Breaking news, a group of armed extremists, the Nasty Lads, they've taken hostages at a Mistmeat lunchatorium downtown.
Let's go live.
We are the Nasty Lads! We are angry!
The Nasty Lads. Uh-oh.
Who the
Oh
fuck are
yeah.
you?
There's our boy. Oh yeah, by the way, Peter Dinklage is playing the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, this is gonna be sick. I'm super pumped for this. It looks like they're firing on all cylinders with
Yep.
the cheese.
The Toxic Avenger.
That's what the kids are calling him. I think it's swell.
I think it's swell.
I think it's swell.
Can we just talk about the line? He looks like a fucked up hot dog.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. But the big reason that I'm super pumped for this, I don't know if you know this, so it's written and directed by Macon Blair. Okay. I don't know if you guys watched that movie on Netflix, I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
I have
It's
not.
it's Elijah Wood
my
and
yeah.
it's Elijah Wood and the main character girl from Yellow Jackets. But basically, her
Okay.
home gets broken into and she gets her stuff stolen. And basically, her neighbor is Elijah Wood with a rat tail, and he's just like this dork that does kung fu and like karate with karate weapons in his backyard. And
Love
she
it.
thinks that he can help him, and he's like really big into like, you know, he hates rude people, and that's kind of the whole premise of the movie. But anyway, Macon Blair, he um starred in not starred well he starred in Blue Ruin, and then he was a supporting member in Green Room, and I think he was one of the
Okay.
producers in Green Room. So I'm super stoked that he's kind of helming this, because a lot of like his catalog and career is kind of like those weird one-off like B movie
Right.
kind of feel. But yeah, dude, super pumped for this. Peter Dinklage is going to be our titular hero, the
The
the Toxic
Dink,
Avenger.
man.
Yeah, man.
Love the Dink.
Also starring Elijah Wood as the villain.
Yep. Oh,
Um,
dude. Dude,
Jane Levy
have you seen
is
the photos of Elijah Wood?
oh yeah, he looks horrifying. He looks
Yeah.
horrifying. He almost looks
Yep.
like a weird mix between like the Penguin and
Yes.
just like a little greasy scuzzball. He has like the
Yeah,
weird
man.
receding hairline and like the long ratty hair.
Yeah, man.
But dude, like the cast is solid. Yeah, Peter Dinklage, Elijah Wood, Jane Levy. If you're not familiar with that name, she was in Don't Breathe, and then she was also the main
Yes.
character in the Evil Dead remake. She was I forget her name in the Evil Dead remake, but she was the Ash character, the main
Yep.
girl in that, and then Kevin Bacon. So let's go.
Kevin
Lloyd
Bacon is
Kaufman's
just
already
that
given
good.
his seal of approval for it. And
That's
I
awesome.
mean, I know no one really gives a shit about Rotten Tomatoes, but so far it's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
That's awesome.
if that says anything, we'll figure it
There's
out.
Mrs. Poketrev. She loves
Hey,
she loves the Dink.
Ayo.
Ew.
But yeah, man. That was fun. It worked.
Yeah, man. No, it
Toxic
did work. I'm
freaking
very
Avenger.
happy.
You
That's right.
damn right, Andy. You damn right. Yeah.
No,
That
I'm
movie is gonna be
super.
brutal. I'm real excited.
It's gonna be so. I was talking to friends of mine. I haven't seen it yet, but um, some buddies of mine went to see Terrifier 2 in theaters because we have like an indie theater. Yeah, I have not seen it yet, but they went and saw it at this little indie movie theater we have, and they said, um, "Heck yeah,
Yes, we
Andy."
have, Andy.
But they went and saw it, and they said like people walked out. Like I feel like this is gonna be that, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be up there with it. I mean, I know that people are walking out of the new Saw movie too, which is
really,
crazy.
dude, I
Yeah, because
can't
I mean,
wait.
like
So
those
yeah,
movies have always been like hyper violent and like kind of ridiculous,
right.
but at the same point, like
Um,
still, I mean,
yeah, I mean, I'd like to give a shout out to kindafunny.com. They're a great website, and they do some in review series, and they're doing Saw in review right now. So I've been rewatching Saw weekly, and I'm about to start watching Saw 7, which is the one that features the very great Chester Bennington in a
yes,
in a brief cameo.
he's in one of the
But
traps. Yeah,
yeah, dude, like fucking amazing. And he like so I remember reading the article like when they put out the trailer for Saw 7, and you like if you don't see him, you're just listening to it, you can hear him screaming. It's like, "Oh, that's Chester."
yeah,
But no, like he was so jazzed to be a part of this franchise. Like he was so excited to get killed in the Saw movie. Um
definitely.
and so no, like I'm very excited to see Saw 10. I can't wait. I'm glad they're doing just numbered movies now, and they got away from Spiral, which was not good. It's a bad
I didn't
movie.
hate Spiral. I thought it was
Eh,
fine. It was predictable.
yeah, that's okay. That's what made
That
it
was a
so okay.
problem. That was
Yeah,
a
that's the
problem.
problem. Yeah, these movies they have like they out M. Night Shyamalan in their twists, and so it's like yeah, I Spiral was fine, but it was a bad Saw movie. It would have been a
Yeah.
great. It would have been a great just like one-off murder mystery, like
Yeah, if it would have been its own thing,
right.
because that was the thing. I think they were trying to do a spin-off series because it said Spiral Book of Saw, right?
Right. Yes.
There's Brian. Thank you. Thank you.
But no. So yeah. So I'm excited for Saw 10. Can't wait to see it. I've been enjoying rewatching those. It's spooky season. And speaking of spooky season, this is going to be the first of two giant-sized spooky episodes. This one in particular, it's giant-sized because the subject matter is massive.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking about the we kind of alluded to it, but it's probably in recent years the best DC universe, like universal story to come out. It is not like it doesn't worry about canon, doesn't worry about oh, is this going to affect everything else? It's just a
It's its own
singular
thing.
story. We're talking about Deceased,
Yeah,
and
man.
so
It's
at the beginning of
written by the
these,
great Tom Taylor, man. That I think he's kind of become the king of Elseworlds tales. I mean,
yes,
Injustice, he turned basically what was a video game offshoot
yep,
into they have two omnibus of that now.
yep,
Okay. And it's
yeah.
there's the
They
4
did 5
years.
runs.
Yeah, it's like the 4 years and then year 0,
Yep.
right? Of the Injustice basically, dictator Superman. So and then
So
Dark Knights of Steel, obviously another
yes,
great Elseworlds tale. I don't know if you've read that yet. Definitely read it.
yep.
And then he's also doing amazing shit on Nightwing and Titans, right? And then he did Superman, Son of Kal-El,
Right.
about John Kent. But yeah, dude, let's jump into
So
this
all right.
right here.
So at the beginning, this is going to be the start of a new little like just a thing. I'm only going to explain it this once. When we start talking about deep dives and whatnot, I'm just going to give a quote, like a quote that makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me feel, makes me
Yeah.
something. And the quote for this is, "My bats, my sons, my whole universe."
That's good. That's a good line. That's a good line from the series
Oh,
as a whole, man.
it's the last page of the last book.
Mm-hmm. It's the best.
Yep.
It definitely it punches you right in the feels in a
Yep.
way that I was not prepared for.
Nope.
Personally.
Nope. Like, and it's so crazy because we're gonna do like we're gonna Tarantino this a little bit, folks. So it's like
Oh yeah.
as you're reading, War of the Undead Gods, and you're realizing like, okay, cool, you've got the narrator. So throughout the entire run, there's always a narrator for each issue, and the final issue of the final story, it's or the final story as a whole rather is being narrated by Spectre, and Spectre turns out to be Alfred Pennyworth. And once you find out that like it is Alfred and he's now Spectre and he's the one that's been narrating, you're like, nothing good is going to come from this. Oh, yo.
There it is. There it is.
Let's just get this right out the door. So Deceased, they decided to issue 3 of the first story. Batman dies.
Yeah, right out the gate. But
Yeah.
we're getting ahead of ourselves
I know.
because we're jumping way ahead,
All
and
right.
no one knows what this book is about. So essentially, Deceased it's DC's answer to Marvel Zombies, and it's the
Right.
superior book in my opinion.
Mhm.
Marvel Zombies
Mhm.
was fine for the first two that Kirkman
Yeah.
did, and then after
Yep.
that, it just turned into a cash grab. Luckily for DC, they got Tom Taylor, and he's like, no, I have a full story I want to tell, and I have 5 volumes that I'm going to put out to do it in, you know?
Right.
So basically, the whole premise of this book is Darkseid comes to Earth looking for the other half of the anti-life equation. Okay, and you're like, oh, what is the anti-life equation? And basically, it's mathematical proof that if you can use it, you can dominate the will of all sentient beings in the universe. Essentially, it's been touched on with every Darkseid tale that has been in existence, really. But
Right.
he actually finds the anti-life equation at the end
Right.
of Final Crisis.
Right.
But this
So
Elseworlds tale
sorry, real
is
quick. The formula for the anti-life equation is loneliness plus alienation plus fear, despair, self-worth, mockery, condemnation, misunderstanding times guilt, shame, failure, judgment. N equals Y, where Y equals hope and N equals folly, love equals lies, life equals death, and self equals dark side.
right. Bye, Ross. Y'all have fun. Be safe. They left.
Oh, miss you
But
already.
no, man. Yeah, so this is different than that essentially because he only has the one half of the anti-life
Right.
equation. The whole reason this book exists, right? This whole story exists is because he has his half and he comes to Earth to find the other half. And basically the book starts off with Superman breaking Darkseid's jaw and
Yeah.
telling him that you better leave Earth and never come back. And then
We heard a god's jaw break.
yeah, dude, that's the sickest way to open any comic, in
Dude.
my opinion. And he just straight cracks him, dude. And like
Yeah. Yeah.
oh man, it's just so good. It's so good. But anyway, so
Anywho.
the whole reason he comes to Earth, right, for the other half of the anti-life equation, we find out that it is Cyborg. Cyborg
Yep.
is the other half because those of you that have watched the Snyder films or are familiar with comics in general, Cyborg is born from a mother box, right? Like he
Right.
is apocalyptic technology, right?
Yep.
And basically the whole first like few pages, they're like, all right, has anybody seen Cyborg? We haven't seen him. And after they break Darkseid's jaw, he's like, I already have what I've come here for,
Right.
And he just dropped because at that point Wonder Woman had wrapped him in the lasso of truth. And he just basically drops it and he's like, I already got what I came here for. You'll never see me again. And he just
Right.
boom tubes out of there. And then cut to back on Apocalypse, right? They already have Cyborg and they're basically they're torturing him, just saying like, all right, cool. Why am I here? You have what we want. And essentially if we find out Cyborg is the other half of the anti-life
Right.
equation, which Darkseid is craving, right? And
Yeah.
Darkseid's minion is Desaad, which is this little cloaked group, like ghoulish looking henchman. Basically, it's like his right hand man, who's kind of his little bitch. He does whatever
Yeah.
he needs him to do.
He does appear in the Snyder Cut.
He does. He does.
Yep. So if you've watched it, which if you haven't watched the Snyder Cut, watch it. It is
Yeah, it's a good flick.
it's a great flick. But yeah, no, then keep going. I was listening to you talk.
No, you're good. No, you're good, man. You're good. But no, essentially decides like, all right, cool. He's like, we can merge your half of the anti-life equation with Cyborg, but there is the possibility that he could die in the process. And if he dies in the process, then the anti-life equation is lost forever. It's gone from existence.
Yep.
So, because Darkseid is a new god, right?
Right.
He calls upon the Black Racer, which is essentially the DC Universe's Grim Reaper. And because he's the king of the underworld, essentially,
Right.
if we'll get into new gods in another episode, but basically there's New
for sure.
Genesis, which is heaven, and then
yeah.
there's Apocalypse, which is hell, and
Yep.
Darkseid's the leader of Apocalypse. Anyway,
Yep.
calls upon the Black
like-
Racer with a snap of his finger. Black Racer shows up and straight Darkseid just palms him in the face, and he's like, I need you. And then essentially what they do is they use the Black Racer's essence to
Mhm.
keep Cyborg alive during the merging process of the two halves of the anti-life equation. And what happens when he uses the Black Racer's death essence in the merging
Deathens,
process,
if you will.
deathens,
Yeah.
it creates this crazy techno-organic virus that is fueled by death. So the anti-life
Yep.
equation, it's basically, like I said, you can control any sentient being in
Right.
the universe. So that plus death. So essentially, they turn it into this virus, and it just turns you into a primal creature that craves only death and only seeks death. Boom tubes and doom tubes almost meta discuss the story on a digital platform.
You're putting us all at risk. OP
Oh
comment,
man.
Ray. OP
Yes,
comment, bro.
yes. That's
Like,
my roomie. That's my roomie. He's over there
yo,
in the other room.
hey.
But yeah, man. No, I forced him to read this the other day. I was like, you have to read this. And
Oh,
he
good. Yeah,
same with us. He
that's a
devoured
grab
it
him.
and
Yeah.
devoured it
Well, I
in a
remember,
day.
like,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, when we talked about reading this, I'm like, all right, cool. And then I cracked it up because I own the trade for Deceased and like literally finished it in a day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, this is brutal and amazing.
It's everything I want.
Yes, yeah, because it's a perfect Elseworld story because you get all of these characters that like I mean they don't truly fundamentally change like
Mhm.
anything about them. They actually just make them more human. I think
Yeah, it's definitely
like
more
Tom
emotionally
Taylor,
involved.
yeah, like I mean, so not like jumping too far ahead, but I mean, you get Damian Wayne and John Kent, and like you get the greatest friendship in all of DC history, in my opinion. And I hate that it only lasts in this world because I can tell you right now, I would love to read a Brave and the Bold with or a World's Finest with the two of them.
Yeah. No, I'm
Like,
down for that. You could always
yeah,
just pick up Super Sons, which is
okay,
just about them as kids.
oh, cool, we
Anyway,
can do that. Yeah. Anyway,
before we tangent off, because we're
yeah,
gonna
I know.
spiral if we start
Yep,
tangenting,
yep,
especially we got a
yep,
lot
yep,
to get into here.
yep,
All
yep,
right.
yep.
So basically, like I said, techno-organic virus that creates primal death craving monsters. Okay.
Right.
At that moment, once the anti-life equation is merged as a whole, Darkseid becomes infected, and basically what happens is you just become this violent monster, and he just like basically tears his own face off, and then just he's like, "Oh, what's the best way I can kill everything in my path?" Um, Straight up jumps into one of the volcanic cores of Apocalypse, and then unleashes his nega beams, right?
Yeah.
Or his omega beams. I'm sorry.
Omega beams. Yeah.
Um, and destroys Apocalypse. And that's where we got the title for this episode because just one little block right there, it says Darkseid was when he destroys an entire planet. And in
Yep.
the background, as he's transforming into the monster, you see a boom tube open up over Cyborg and he gets transported back to Earth. And Cyborg
And from yeah.
is an android,
Yep.
right? Or Cyborg, right? He
Yep.
immediately connects to Wi-Fi
Right.
and just is connected to the entire world.
Right.
And
So
this techno-organic virus spreads like wildfire through
mhm.
any laptop, tablet,
Yep.
cell phone, any kind of or TV, any kind of technology, you immediately become infected if your eyes touch the screen.
Right. So
And you just
if you're sitting there trolling through the YouTubes or if you're playing Angry Birds,
or doom
all of a
scrolling
sudden,
Instagram.
yep, doom scrolling Instagram or Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, on the toilet, you're a zombie now. Like
Yep, you become
you're
this
yep.
crazy monster.
And in the first issue, so we have all this happen and it oh man, sorry, I'm flipping through right now because it's just too
No,
good. Yeah.
we're just gonna do that. We're gonna do that
Yeah.
because we're sloppy and we didn't prepare properly.
Right.
But dude,
One day
they
we'll
start
have the
tearing their
ability.
faces off.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have the actual capability to throw JPEGs up there
Yep.
or PDFs.
So, Soups finds out that this is all going on. He goes and searches for John and Lois. John is sitting there playing video games with Damian, which I just love. I love that Damian Wayne is playing video games with
Yeah, they're
his
just hanging out.
buddy.
They're being kids, man,
Yes,
and
they're
that's
being
what's
kids.
the best about it.
Right, because Damian Wayne, I love Damian. I've been rereading the Batman and Robin, Dick Grayson, Damian Wayne run, the Grant Morrison run. And Damian's such a great character, but like getting to see Damian be just a human being kid, not, an assassin for the League of Assassins, not necessarily even Robin at this moment, just hanging out with his buddy. And then seeing Clark Kent just blast through the wall and blow up the TV.
And blow up all their
Because
cell phones and
yeah,
everything.
blows everything up. Issue 1 ends with Bruce figuring everything out. He's disabled like all of his like external connectivity,
Yep, he's
and has
firewalled
called
everything off.
he's firewalled everything. He's called the Bat Family and said, "Hey guys, we're not, this is not good." And then Dick Grayson shows up. And Dick
But not the
Grayson,
Dick we love.
Yep, Dick Grayson did not get the memo, and at the end of the very first issue, Dick infects Bruce. And
It was not
there
just
is
Dick,
no,
it's Tim too.
yeah, it's Tim. Oh yeah, I forgot Tim was there as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, we have Dick
basically
and
Tim sneaks up on Bruce when
Mhm.
he's fighting
Yep.
Dick and bites a
Yep.
chunk out of his forearm.
Right, and then but the so there we have
The
that
killing bite, yeah.
shot. Yep.
But yeah, the
Just
ultimate infection, what happened was Tim bit him in the
was Tim
forearm.
sneaking up on
Yeah.
him, yeah. And that's they start this, like, Tom Taylor starts this off by letting you know, hey, there's no cure. Batman's gone. What you gonna do?
Well, and that's what I love about this book so much is because DC is Batman is DC's crutch, and and it's like there's a lot of Bat stands out there. I love Batman. I love the Bat family,
Yep.
but he doesn't need to be that the be all end all to fix all the problems, even on a
Right.
cosmic level. I think sometimes it's a bit ridiculous. I mean, you get it. Yes, he is Batman, whatever, but still, I think that was a good touch, a nice touch, a good
Yeah.
idea to basically
Right.
start off like, all right, cool. This crutch that all the writers rely on to be the be all end all to save the day. We're gonna take him out
Right.
the equation right off the cut.
Immediately. Yep. Equation.
Immediately.
But no, and it also, I mean, it speaks volumes to Taylor's like writing ability that he's just like, cool, I'm gonna kick off this Elseworlds epic, because it is. I mean, it is a 5
book, yeah.
5 book epic. I'm gonna kick off this epic by taking off the training wheels and putting it on hard mode. Like he's doing, it's Dark Souls
Right off rip.
of DC. Dark Souls of DC, man. Like it is the hardest possible way to write a universal story. Get rid of Batman. Cool.
Now where do we go
Hey.
from here? Also,
make new
just
Batman.
prepare yourselves because the body count is absolutely ridiculous in this book, and
Pretty
no
much.
one's safe. No one is safe in this book.
No, it's fucking The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. It's everybody, like it's.
By nail clippers, rude.
Because it's a nail biter, maybe.
No.
I don't know, unless that's an inside joke that I don't get.
I don't
But
get
the
it.
way I
I
felt
don't
it
get
was
it.
like, yeah, all right. Any hoozles. No, it is like The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. Like nobody is safe. Period.
Not even a little bit.
Including Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll jump into the next issue. We're just kind of like I said, we're only gonna focus on the 3 core titles,
right?
And
so,
I think
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get through all of it, man. I don't see it. I don't foresee it happening because there's a lot of content.
Right.
And we're already an hour in.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's fine.
Nobody else has anything else going on. It's a Saturday night. All the infected immediately call their faces.
All right, I get
All
it.
right. Yeah, that's clever. Not your best work, Ducray. let's speed run. Not fly
Not
through it,
all the
but
way
speed
through,
run.
but
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
Um,
So right off the rip, second issue, Aquaman's gone. He gets
yep.
taken out by an oil tanker full of infected.
Right.
So Aquaman's part of the infected now. And then we jump to Metropolis, which is burning, right? And Superman and Damian and John and Lois are in their apartment, and they're just like trying to figure out where they need to go. We find out Lois Lane's mom and dad are okay. They're heading to uh, General Lane's creepy prepper bunker, because of
Yeah.
course he's that guy.
Yep.
And then we jump to Gotham City, dude, and basically
Oh.
Poison Ivy's like, yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go back to my botanical gardens, He's like, she's like, I've been done with mankind for a while. I'm gonna go,
Right.
And she wants Harley to go with her, and Harley's kind of hesitant, and basically
Has to go beat the
uh
Joker to death.
has to go face the Joker, right?
Yeah.
And turns out the Joker's infected too.
Yep.
And basically what happens next is like probably
It's satisfaction. Yeah.
it's the most cathartic moment for her as a character and character building, and it doesn't even happen in DC canon.
No.
Basically she she takes him on full force, and blows him away with a shotgun, right?
Yep. So we get to see the entrance of that, but between that arc or that little plot line, we get Ollie and Dinah and Hal all hanging out camping. They're
Because
just
the
relaxing.
big Darkseid battle had just happened.
Right.
That
Yep.
he
So
started the
they're
book
they're
off, so they're on vacation.
right. Yep. They're taking a breather, and then all of a sudden, Hal goes and he's on the phone because phones are bad. That's the thing. We're living in the digital age nowadays,
Yeah.
especially. So when this book came out, it was 2020, right? Or no, yeah,
2019.
all right, so 2019. So we're at the height of
Yeah.
the digital age. And it also kind of like it's ironic that it all continued during COVID, which there's no actual connection there, but it's just like, oh man, this world-ending virus. Heyo, zing, waka
Yeah.
waka. Um, but we're everybody is just so fucking attached to their cell phones. I'm guilty of it still. I'm got my nose buried in it all the time. Um,
Horrible. Like I'm like the
yeah,
worst.
right. But one of the and this is early on, issue 2, like you've got Ollie and Dinah and Hal, they're camping, they're relaxing, and then Hal goes off to take a call or something, and Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, gets infected. And then Dinah does her thing, man, and just blows him away. And I'm gonna just continue this little plot thread, just like we did with Harley Quinn.
Well, Dinah Lance, if people who don't know, Dinah Lance is the Black Canary, and her power
Yeah,
is a sonic scream, and she
right,
is the strongest scream on the planet. Okay,
right,
so
and
yeah,
she can absolutely scream the skin off your body if she wanted to, and she wipes him out and gets the ring. So we
and
get
she
the
becomes a Green
green.
Lantern, the
Yep,
Green
we get the
Canary.
Green Canary, man. Oh,
It's
such a
so cool. It's so cool, and I'm a
cool.
huge Green Lantern fan. I love Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
the fact that that happens, and you're just like, okay, all right, like that's it
All
now.
right. Yep. Um, man, but it's hard to speed run this or hard to like condense it because I kind of want to just talk about literally everything that ever happens. But meanwhile, Damien gets the call from Batman, letting him know like I'm using freeze tech right now to slow the infection, but I'm infected,
And it's
and
not gonna last forever. And it's
no.
it's cool because Batman's wearing literally a Mr. Freeze
Yep.
suit, and
Yep.
he's just
He's
keeping his body temperature down so the
mhm,
infection doesn't spread
yep.
faster.
And we get the worst, like my one of like 6 of my least favorite moments across
Yeah.
this entire book. over the course of these next few pages, because we essentially get Bruce saying goodbye to Damian. And
Yeah.
then we get Papa Alfred, who has to put down his children.
Yeah.
Because if
Nah.
you
Not only did he have to put down Nightwing and Tim Drake Robin,
Tim, yeah,
right? He had to put down Dick and Tim at the end of the first issue, but
right,
now his son
yeah,
that he never knew he wanted, right?
right.
And the second issue ends with "I'm
With
sorry, son,"
I'm sorry, son.
and he shoots Batman dead with a shotgun.
I'm trying not to
All
start
the
crying
feels.
because it's just dude, it's so
Well, and it just sucks because they don't like leave it up for imagination or up for interpretation.
no.
They just he shoots Batman
Yeah.
dead, and then the next issue starts off with him basically
With
telling him
the
goodbye
bodies, yeah, with the
of all three of
body,
them.
yep. So you've got Alfred, like, basically, standing over the like three of his kids, because every single one of the Bat family, those are his kids. Like that's Alfred's kids.
Yeah.
And I love so much that Tom Taylor like said it. He didn't
Mhm.
just imply it. Like it's always been implied, it's always been understood. Like Alfred is dad, but he says it like my boys, my sons are dead.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm sorry I couldn't save you."
Right. Oh
Well,
man.
and it's cool because they have the little thought boxes, right?
Right.
Up in there, and it's like we didn't have time. We didn't have time to process.
Right.
Too many died too quickly. We didn't have time to grieve. And basically,
Right.
at the end of that, you just see Alfred getting into one of the bat jets, holding a
Yep.
briefcase with a bat symbol on it, and then he flies off. And as he flies off, he just starts blowing up stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he starts
Uh,
he starts basically nuking the infected, and
as he sees him flying through Gotham, yeah.
right. My
And
boys.
actually, yeah, like I
Oh,
said, I jumped ahead with the Harley Quinn stuff. Just like
right. Yeah, no, but
jumped
I
ahead
mean
with that.
it was I mean it was keeping conciseness. So,
Yeah. This is actually where she kills the Joker, and then she
yeah.
has to fight the zombie birds of prey. So zombie Batgirl, zombie Batwoman,
Yep.
Huntress, and Catwoman
Huntress.
are all infected, and she has to fight them. Not trying to speed run through this, but that's literally what happens, and it's just
Right.
fun little Harley Quinn quips, and I guess we're bird hunting,
Yep.
and then cut to the rooftop of the Daily
Daily
Planet,
Planet.
and that's where the rest of our heroes are. So that's where Damian, John, Clark, Lois, Green Arrow, and Green Canary are at right now.
Yeah, dog. And that's the
And this
thing.
is
So, oops, sorry.
this scene hits me real hard. Like
Yeah.
this one's cool just because from like a best friend like standpoint,
Right.
it's like the best way you can do that, right? Where
Right.
it's like John's talking to Damien, you see Damien, he's sitting against the wall because he just gotten the call finding out that
His dad
Bruce,
was
Dick,
dead.
and Tim are dead,
Yeah. His dad,
And
his brothers, they're gone.
yeah. And essentially what happens is he's sitting against the wall and John walks up and he's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, and Damon's like, "I don't want to talk about it." He's like, "All right, yeah, we'll get that." He's like, "But I'll just sit here so you're not
So I don't want
alone."
you to be alone.
Yeah. And like that's such a big
Oh,
moment for them as like a friend group because like they've never faced anything like that yet in their superhero career. And for something that crazy and like that monumental to happen at such a young age for
right.
them and them like dealing with it in pretty like I guess an adult way of
Well, I mean, when you have a character like
compartmentalizing the grand
right, yeah.
scale of things,
When you
right?
have when you have a character like Damian Wayne, who was raised by Talia al Ghul and the League of Assassins, I mean, he
Yeah.
is going to go into damage control in his brain. Then after that, he went and worked and lived with his father, who's fucking Batman, and he
Right.
is the master of damage control, compartmentalizing. Like, let's turn this anger, this pain into beating villains within inch of their life.
Yeah.
So to see Damian Wayne actually like
Be
have to
human.
feel something, like it's probably you're officially hold on, wait. gonna cost you years. You're gonna sold me on the book. Just bought it digitally. Gonna read it at work tonight. Watch it live. Awesome. Hell
Yeah.
yes, Sloan. Yes. Look, I am all about the rewatch gang. If you're not here for the live portion, that's fine. We
Yeah,
are
dude. Just
available. Yep.
come hang out.
We're available if you have YouTube Music or if you want to download YouTube Music, you can listen to us just as a podcast without YouTube Premium. And you can
Right.
have it playing through your car speakers or your headphones without even watching the video. There's my little shameless plug for that. But no, like getting to experience Damian Wayne feeling something, that was
Yeah.
the moment when I knew this was real. Like this was a masterpiece. Because Tom Taylor took a character who is not supposed to be the feeling one. He's not supposed to be the character. Like he's supposed to be the abrasive, like he's the Robin you got to rein in. And occasionally he will have his moments of clarity and humanity, but
Right.
this book he's all human. And I love seeing that side of him because he still has his I am an assassin. He still has his moments where you know he is still who he is, but you get heart from him. And
Right.
as somebody who loves character growth and character expansion like that, it affects me, man. It's artwork. It's incredible.
Yeah, man. Tom Taylor, dude. I cannot recommend
Yeah.
that dude enough. Anything he puts out, I think is pretty solid. Like
Yeah.
I haven't read anything where I was like, nah, that kind of sucks. No, I'm
Yeah.
in. I'm like, if he's right, he's up there with like Donny Cates recommender for me. Where like if they're putting
Mhm.
something out, I'm reading it. I don't care what it is. I don't have to know what it's about. They're putting it out. I'm gonna read it. You know. So Tom
Yeah.
Taylor has reached that point in my
Right on.
my
Yeah,
book
no. It's
go-to list.
so incredible and devastating. And it's a shame. Hypothetical question. Hold on.
What if Atrocitus and Red Lantern got infected? I mean, it's rage on top of rage. I think it would just be
Right,
ultimate
yeah.
destruction. And
Yeah.
that's actually a really good question. And I'm kind of pissed that didn't get touched on,
Dude, I am too.
considering how this book ends. You know.
Yeah. Oh man.
But
Anyway,
yeah.
so
Let's keep it going, dude. Let's keep it
yeah,
going.
we have so from here we kind of jump to we jump down under seas, not to be confused with under the sea, but we have everything going on in Atlantis, and Arthur Curry is infected at this point, and he goes in and attacks Mira and Tempest,
Right.
and boy howdy, is that brutal.
Well, and it's just like you
Um,
just see this like cyclone of blood coming through the ocean floor, man. And
yeah,
like it just it's crazy because it's Arthur on
right,
full like just
dude, he is just
devil mode, man. Just
it's
destroying everything. And it's just like it's not the sun, it's the water, it's blood. And it's
right.
just
Oh,
Arthur tearing through the Atlantean guard and just killing
right.
everyone, man. And everything in sight. And and Mary's like, don't touch the blood, don't touch the blood.
Yep,
That's
don't
what's
touch
doing
it.
it. And then sure as shit, fucking Tempest
Yep,
inhales the blood in the water. And next thing you know, man's tearing his own face off. And now she's got Tempest and Arthur
yep.
and the Atlantean guard coming after her. And then in pure queen fashion, she blows a hole through all these dudes. Not like kills them, blows a hole through them, but basically creates the air bubble wave thing
Right,
she does in
yeah.
the movie, if you're familiar with the movies, right?
Oh,
Just blows that hole right through there, dude, and creates her escape path, gets all the blood out the way, and then she's like, I'm
yep,
out, done,
yep.
And at this
Chunks
point,
the deuce.
chunks of deuce, and she's like, I'm out. At this
Yeah,
point, basically, Superman's not sleeping. He's literally
right.
just flying through, saving anybody and everybody he can, you know?
Yep.
And he's
Goes
like, I'm
through,
going
finds Black
home.
Lightning.
Yeah, he finds Black Lightning and his family. They're in like a weird like helicopter,
Right. Oh,
and
dude,
Black
fucking
Lightning's just
Clayface, man. The
lighting them up,
Clayface
dude.
infection is wild.
Yeah, and it sucks that it's only those 3 panels. I was like, "Wait a minute." I was
Right.
like, "There's gotta be more than this."
Dude, see, this would have been a great moment. Like this would have been a great moment in one of the tie-ins for sure, where they kind of brought everybody else's stories together. I would have loved to have seen some elaboration on how Jefferson and his family ended up like throwing down with Clayface infected.
Yeah.
Um, but oh man, fucking Clark goes home.
And
Oh,
that's the worst. He gets to the Kent farm, and he sees Martha just
yep.
chilling, and
Where's
she's holding
Martha?
the shovel. She's holding the shovel, "Don't do it." And she's just hanging out by the barn. He's like, "Ma?" He's like, "Where's Pa at?" She's like,
Oh,
"He's inside. I hit him. He fell."
yeah.
And this is another one. This like just the first arc alone, dude, is just gut
Right,
punch after
dude.
gut punch after gut punch. He, he goes down into the cellar, or he opens up the cellar. You just see him, Superman, break the lock. And as he
Yep.
opens the door, you just see Pa Kent just like gunning for him, just like running up the stairs, trying to fight him. And
Yep.
like, it, he does a really good job. Taylor Harrison, right? Harrison?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tyler Harrison, he does a really good job of portraying how fast Superman is moving because it
Yeah.
doesn't he's not doing like super speed. He just
No.
sidesteps and you
Yeah.
see Pa Kent like clawing at him and he finally just grabs him by the wrists and walks him back down into the cellar,
And then he laser
closes
like
it
uses
and
his yep.
laser visions and welds it shut.
And
And
it's
then
it's
he grabs Ma Kent, and she's like, "We can't leave. This is your home. That's your father." And he goes, "He isn't here, Ma." And then they fly off, and they fly off into Daily Planet again. That's where
yep.
the
Yep.
head
That
is. They're
so the
flying
other
off to
planet,
Daily Planet.
yeah, the other planet is like our base of operations for this. So our next issue kicks off in Washington, DC.
Amanda Waller,
Woo!
baby,
Yep.
the queen
And
of Task
Ray
Force X.
Yep, and Ray Palmer is in the middle of trying to deduce where this came from inside of an infected.
Yeah, he's shrinking down. He's basically doing an
Yep.
autopsy on one of the infected. And
Yep.
so
And
Ray
so we got
Palmer is
Captain
the
Atom
Atom.
there.
He's
Yep.
he's like the DC Ant-Man, right? He can shrink down to
Right.
atomic
Yeah.
particle size, and he's inside of the infected, trying to find it.
And then, oh, okay, all right. Everything's freaking out. You keep talking.
No, yeah. So basically, what happens is they're in the middle of this autopsy, and they basically say that
All right. Yep.
Ray Palmer's been gone, and we haven't seen him. They think he's still inside the monster,
Right.
and
And Captain
basically
Atom goes off, and
Captain Atom gets a mission. He goes off to
yep.
start taking care of infected because Amanda Waller doesn't care about a cure. She just cares
No.
about saving the American public, right? So basically, she sends Captain Atom out to just start nuking random infected
Yeah.
throughout the city and just wrecking shop. And
Which,
then
if you know
halfway
anything about
through,
Amanda Waller, that is so in character for her, and
oh,
I
that's
love
100%
that.
in character.
I love like everything about all these characters is just so like Tom Taylor actually understands what makes these characters who they are, to the point that like yeah, Amanda Waller is not like she's not out here trying to fix things, she's out here trying to kill things. And then Captain Atom,
Yeah.
who is out here trying to kill things per Waller's request. Sorry, I just realized this is way too high. We find out Ray Palmer, the Atom, who is infected, gets attached to Captain Atom. So now there is a nuclear bomb that gets infected, and he proceeds to decimate DC. And from there, we get Soups coming home to the Daily Planet and sitting with John and Lois and telling them that the events of what just happened, and it's this book does everything. It does everything right, but does so many characters so wrong to me, simply because of the fact that we lose so much. They lose so much. I'm not very good at the the panel by panel breakdown. I like to dive into the, into it. But Damian Wayne losing Bruce was such a touching moment. And then you get Pa Kent being lost, and that's such a touching moment. And then you get the loss of DC. So now you have the worry of where is Captain Atom going next? And we flash over to Themyscira, and Wonder Woman is trying to welcome in Mira, who
Yep.
just got done losing everything. Like this book is not a book of hope. It's not a book of fun. It's a book of loss. And I can't even I can't even with it, man. It's just so fucking devastating from start to finish.
Every issue is a down note, man. Like, it just every issue ends with it progressively getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And you're like, what can they do to these characters next, man? It's absolutely outrageous. So, like Trevor said, Mira's on Themyscira, basically seeking safe haven because she's lost Arthur, she's lost Tempest, she's lost basically all of the Atlanteans, man. And then we cut to basically Wonder Woman saying, "I gotta go to Metropolis. I gotta see if my friends are okay. I gotta make sure that all isn't lost." Essentially, so basically, cut to Superman, Green Canary, Flash, everybody. They're looking for Flash. That's who they're looking for, because think about it. If Flash and Kid Flash, right, Wally West, Barry Allen, got infected, they could literally wipe out the entire Earth in minutes. They can infect the entire Earth in minutes. So basically, what's happening is Clark and Green Canary are looking for Barry Allen, Wally West, and they're trying to find them. And essentially, they find them, and basically, they're in this bunker, and they're hidden out. And of course, in typical Batman fashion, Clark's like, "We gotta go," and Flash's like, "No, man, we can't leave." He's like, "We talked to Batman," and Batman's like, "If you leave, you will ruin everything." He's like, "You will destroy the world." So basically, Green Canary's like, "Well, I'm a Green Lantern now, so I can move you safely." And basically, they break the news and say that Hal died and got infected, whatever. So she's the new Green Lantern, scoops him up, and they go. And during the middle of all this, cut back to Gotham. We cut back to Harley Quinn. Remember, I said that she was fighting the Birds of Prey, Batgirl, Huntress, Batwoman, and Catwoman. And sure enough, who shows up to save the day? Poison Ivy, and basically just wrecks shop, and then just ties up all the infected Birds of Prey, gets them out of there, and saves Harley Quinn. And at this point, you're just kind of wondering where this is all going, because you have all these different groups of survivors throughout the city, and it seems like they're all making their way towards Metropolis because Superman's flying around saving the day. And essentially, they get to the point where everybody's back in Metropolis. I mean, except for Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. I think they're still in Gotham in the Botanical Gardens, right? And Lois is on the CB, and she's essentially calling out, making her rounds saying, "Hey, this is Lois Lane with the Daily Planet. If you're not infected and you need safe haven, come here, or send out a signal. We will find you." And basically, they're kind of letting that go every couple hours, right? Just trying to get survivors. And in the midst of that, Giganta shows up. And if you're familiar with the Super Friends at all, she's the big strong lady that can grow to the size of a skyscraper. and she's infected, and she's just wrecking the entire city of Metropolis. And it's Black Lightning, Green Arrow, Damian, all of them are basically fighting tooth and nail, trying to get him. And who shows up in the Batwing? Our boy Alfred just starts
Fuck
nuking her with
yes.
missiles, dude, just blowing up the
Yes.
side of her, dude. Hey,
Yep.
mom.
Yep.
Karen, that's my mom. But
Hi,
yeah,
Karen. How you doing?
yeah. So they blow up, or they don't blow her up. They shoot her with all the missiles and everything, and she takes out one of the wings. She takes out one of the wings on the Batwing, and then essentially, what happens is Green. You good? Was that your son?
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes out the
Oh
Batwing,
man.
and Green Canary saves him.
Yeah.
And then Superman, Flash, Kid Flash, and Wonder Woman show up, and then Wonder Woman's about to just decapitate Giganta, and Clark's like, "No, stop, wait."
Nope.
He's like,
Don't do it.
we have to see if we can save them, you know." And then before he can finish that sentence,
Yep.
who shows
Vic
up?
just comes the fuck in and blows a hole right through her
Motherfucking
head.
Cyborg shows up, blows a hole in the side of her head, and that's like probably one of my favorite panels, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like you see her laying down on the ground, giant hole in her head, and it's just
Yep.
Cyborg standing there with a smoking gun. It's the
Yep.
coolest. It's so rad.
Clark, but what's even better is like Clark's reaction is like, what have you done? And Cyborg's like, she wasn't alive. None of them are. We need to talk. Like,
Yeah, dude.
It's so fucking good.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. But yeah, at this point, Damian sees the Batwing, and he's like filled with this little glimmer of hope.
Yeah,
and he's like,
man.
Father?
Just, oh,
You know? And then the hatch pops, and it's Alfred. He jumps out with the suitcase,
I mean,
and
it's
basically
dad
said,
anyway, but still.
I mean, yeah, but it's not his dad, right?
It's not
He's
his dad. Because that's the thing.
Bat
Like, I
family
mean,
dad.
right, yeah. But I mean, Damien had a dad, and that's what makes Bruce's death and his reaction to it so earnest and so crippling. Because, and I say crippling, dude, because I fucking read that, and I'm just like, it's so hard to deal with because Damien didn't know that, like, he wanted a dad or needed a dad. But boy, howdy, when he lost him. Oh, and then we have the rest of the Bat family who, aside from Tim, are from troubled pasts or, orphans, and they
Orphans as
have
well,
had
yeah.
Alfred. Yeah, they have had Alfred, who has been their father this entire time. I keep hammering that home because it's so important throughout the rest of this. Yeah.
Well,
And then
Alfred jumps out the Batwing and basically drops that briefcase that we saw when he left the Batcave initially in front of Damien. He said you were worthy of it and that he was proud of you and that he should have told you that every day, and gives Damien the biggest hug. And when he opens that briefcase, sure as shit,
we get Batman back.
We get Batman back.
I mean, like, we have to talk about the fact that he was proud of you, and he should have told you that every day, because Bruce is not a good dad.
No, not even a little bit.
Like, I mean, he has set up every single one of his children to fight for their lives, and not in a healthy way.
On a nightly basis, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, he has put them in the line of fire. That has never stopped him from loving them or caring for them or wanting.
But he does it in his own way.
Exactly. And he does not do emotion, which, I mean, has always, like, that dynamic between him and Damien has always worked because Damien doesn't do emotion either. So it's not like a kid yearning for his dad's affection. It's like, oh, cool. All I want is my father's respect. Fuck. Damien calls his dad father.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or Batman, which is funny.
Or Batman, yeah. But no, like, it is so endearing and so impactful to have, Pennyworth come in and say, he was proud of you, and he should have told you that every day. Like, Bruce is aware. Bruce knows where his faults are. He knows why he's a bad dad. It doesn't stop him from loving his kids in his own way, and it doesn't stop him trying his best to make sure that they're going to stay safe. Because that's the thing. He's so hard on them because he knows what can happen to him. He knows that at any time he could lose a kid. So he's going to do everything in his power to distance himself emotionally, but also make sure that they're prepared to deal with the monsters and the nightmares out there, because he has dealt with gods and monsters his entire
Right.
career. But here, like, getting that panel, it's dude, it's everything. It's everything, and it's so hurtful. It hurts
Well,
me.
yeah, it's like one of those things like, man, like, why'd you have to put that in there? Because now it's like, well, you're
Right,
making me feel things that I wasn't
right.
ready for, you know?
And that's this whole fucking book. Everything from start to finish is you're gonna feel everything you never wanted to.
Right. But it's cool.
Man,
Yeah, because we get Batman back.
we do. We get, and so, like, all right, so yes, Tom Taylor, he did turn off the cheat codes and put it on hard mode, but then he also brought us back Batman, but we get Damian Wayne's Batman. So now we've gotten two of the Bat Sons being actual Batman.
Yep.
And
Well, and
both
we've
of
only got
them,
to see the Damien interpretation one time, and that was
right,
during Morrison's run. That was issue what,
right,
666 in the
right, yeah,
distant future.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, exactly.
So
But
that I think that was cool, and I feel like
yeah,
he was really big into the Morrison run in some
hmm
ways, where he was like, I
oh
like
my
that
gosh,
Batman. Let's see what happens if I do it for real.
yeah, no, and I mean but I will say, as we've touched on before, Grant Morrison is such a take it or leave it creator and writer.
Right.
But his Batman and Robin run, like his Damian Wayne, like he has written some of the best Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne ever, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Hands
I
down.
think that is, and so yes, like you said, Tom Taylor took that and ran with it, and he ran with it so well, because we have amidst all of this nonsense and fuckery that's happening, we have a new Batman who is trying to, like, find his place as Batman, but he's also still Damian Wayne. So he's going to be Damian Wayne about it, and it's so good. It's so inspired.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely it's one of those things that it's like we've been waiting to see it happen because we knew it was gonna happen eventually, right?
Oh, for
I
sure.
feel it at some point in our lifetime they're gonna get rid of Bruce Wayne. Not like kill him off, but I think at some point that DC has to let Damian and John take over the mantles, right? And
Oh
they'll
my
be the
gosh.
new
I mean,
Batman and Superman.
yes, they
Because
absolutely
we've
should.
gotten the hints of it and the touches of it in other
Right,
books, you know, like where, like I said, Superman, son of Kal-El, right?
right,
Superman goes to a war world to fight Mongol, right? And he becomes Superman. And then this book, Batman dies, and then Damian becomes Batman. Like I was
right,
talking to my buddy Anthony about that, and it's the only natural progression. Like they should
right.
definitely
No,
just
no,
let
it
them
is.
take over the mantle and then see what
Yeah,
happens. You
yeah.
know, I'm
No,
not saying get rid of Clark and Bruce altogether, but I
no.
think
Let them hang it up for a minute, and
it'll be fresh. It's just something fresh
yeah,
because they've already told those stories. I mean, what
for
Batman's been
60
around
years.
since 27,
Yeah,
28, right?
sorry.
Or
So yeah, almost 100 years. It feels like.
yeah, I mean,
No, like getting fresh blood into the mix made this book everything that it is. Because we're going to be wrapping up here shortly, so we're going to kind of speed run this, but it does, like, this first arc in this first book culminates in the death of Superman again, but
again, right?
yeah,
But it's
but
Tom Taylor's way of doing it, right?
right. So
Um,
Soups gets infected, and rather than putting his family at risk, flies himself into the sun,
yeah,
and we are not prepared for it. We're not ready for it. There is so much that happens in between. So again, everybody go out and read these books, because this is part one. We're
yeah. This
like
is book
we're
one. And actually, they just released a deluxe hardcover. So this is
Yeah.
just your
Yep.
standard hardcover, but they
Right.
released the deluxe hardcover, which is a larger format, so bigger art, less
Yep.
less gutter loss
Yeah.
in the book when you're reading it. Um, I cannot recommend this book enough,
Yeah.
and I know we've kind of been, you know, feeding you the first couple issues, but really,
Right.
I don't want to spoil it all the way. I mean, I know Trevor
Right.
just did, but really,
Well,
truthfully,
yeah.
there's so much that happens in between where we stopped and where the where
Right.
the Superman gets infected.
Right.
Um, that it's just this book to me is it's special in a way because it's all the things that I love. So DC
Right.
Comics, first and foremost, zombies, right? And it's a Superman book, dude. Ultimately, it's a Superman book, and
Is
I
it?
love Superman. Now, dude, are you kidding me? It's a Superman and a Batman book.
All right,
It's
cool. Yeah,
definitely
it's a world's finest book in the worst of ways.
the worst scenario you could
Yeah,
possibly have.
but it is
Okay,
it is all
like
right.
the
It
ultimate
is
shit show.
yeah.
It's world's
Yeah.
finest apocalypse edition.
Yep. Exactly, dude. Like, and that's what I love about it, man, because it is. It doesn't
Yeah,
focus or lean too hard on soups or bats, and it doesn't focus on either of like it doesn't focus on Clark and Bruce, man. This is
yeah.
a
It's just
Damian
about
Wayne and
John and
John
Damien.
Kent book,
Yeah,
and it goes that way the entire run.
right.
We have two books that are just purely tie-ins that are absolutely like you know
Phenomenal,
what I'm
and
gonna say
they're
they're
essential reading.
required yeah they're required readings. You have to read all of it. You should read it in the order they released because it all forms into a cohesive story because that ending like the ending
Of
makes the
DC's
most
Volume
sense.
1, yeah.
Yeah, the ending of I'm saying the ending of the entire deceased story
Oh,
makes the
the
most
entire arc, yeah.
yeah, the entire arc makes the most sense if you have read all 5 books, and
Yep.
the deluxe hardcover is coming out. I implore all of you, even if you don't buy the hardcover, if you wanna get it digitally, go for
Yeah,
that. Like, I
the
know
trade, man. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Get it.
please, please go read this book. It is so special. It is so earnest. It is so heartfelt. It is so like just unforgiving. It does not care about your feelings
Not even a little
whatsoever
bit.
in the best of ways.
Yeah.
Like dude, I'm such a softie, and I can't
Dude, we
tell you
both
like
are.
I
When it comes to
yeah, I
comics, like,
know,
I think we
man.
are the
Like
biggest
yeah,
babies. I
yeah,
think
dude. Like
I'll text Trevor multiple times, like, "Dude, like, that
oh
book
my
just
gosh,
made me
yeah,
fucking cry, bro."
yeah, man. Like,
But
and
at
I
the
tell
end of the
you,
day,
man.
it makes us human, right? It makes us, we're not sociopaths. We feel things,
No,
which is
yeah,
great.
and
Um, but yeah,
it
man, this
it there are there it's quotable. It's and when I say quotable, it's like you know the quotes and you don't want to have to hear them again because
yep.
you're gonna rip you to pieces. But it's it's so special, and I wish upon a star that DC would do more of this instead of what they've been
Focusing on
doing for the
canon,
last
dude. That's
right,
the
yeah,
problem.
like
They wanna make it
yeah,
one cohesive universe. Dude, they should take a page, and this is I never thought in a million years that I would say this. Just take a page out of the how manga does it, man.
yeah,
You have standalone tales that are volumes
yep,
1 through whatever, right? And then you could do that with every single hero, bro.
yep,
And then just
yeah,
give everyone a definitive, this is where you start. Yes, all the stuff that happened prior to is amazing, right? You can read it and you can find the beginning, middle, and end of all that stuff. But if
right,
they took that manga route where you had
right,
the new DC universe, right? Yeah, you're gonna have Superman Volume 1, Batman Volume 1, Green
right,
Lantern Volume 1, and you just start from the jump there, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., right? With those
right,
characters, I think that would do freaking gangbusters. And especially because you're doing, you know, you're adding accessibility to it. And
right, and that's and
they
that
complain all the time about
yeah,
they can't get the viewership, they can't sell comics or whatever, and they just keep rehashing stuff and putting out deluxe edition after deluxe edition after hardcover after
Right.
softcover, right? And it's like, dude, how many times are you gonna re-release Death and Return of Superman before you're like, all right, cool, man.
Right.
I think everybody who's bought it is gonna buy it. You know?
Right. I mean, I felt that way whenever they did so they did the Batman Hush the pencils edition, and I got that and I loved that. But like they re-released like Hush and Heart of
Constantly.
Hush.
Or an
Like
anniversary edition. Like
right,
we
yeah,
don't need
man.
every 10, 15 years an anniversary edition of Hush or
Right,
Dark Knight
because you're gonna
Returns or
get like
whatever.
you're gonna get suckers like me that's like, oh, I love this storyline, so I'm gonna buy I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy this because I'm a sucker for this storyline. You know, I'd love them to do like a full omnibus style Nightfall instead of like the three big trades. I want like hardcover Nightfall. But no, what I want is more of DC doing things like this.
Definitive beginning, middle, end story
Like
arcs.
it is just a self-contained story,
Yep.
and you have lines which you're gonna have no context for this, viewers, unless you've read it. But you know, just keep helping. You'll make mistakes. You'll fail sometimes, but I'll always, always be proud of you. I've seen so much of the universe. You're the best thing in it. So I want. I know.
Oh,
Sorry, it's raining in
right
my
in my
basement right now. Yeah.
right in my chest. Why would you do this to me?
It's raining in my basement right now. But no,
Ugh.
I want DC to allow their creators to take these characters and actually explore the love and the humanity of them, because that's the thing. Even with Superman, like Superman's the most human of us all. Like, and he's an alien. Like, explore the humanity, explore the reality of them, like make them be people, because they are gods, they are monsters, you know,
I
gods
see
and
what you did there.
monsters.
I
Yeah.
see what you did there.
But make them people, because that's why we connect with them. We don't just want to, like, not in this day and age, we're not just looking for something to deviate from our lives. To no, like, we want to connect with our characters. I feel like I speak for everyone. Like, you want to be able to find some reason to connect with these characters, and Deceased is the only time I've ever known that I could actually connect with Bruce Wayne and
Like
Damian
as a
Wayne
person. Yeah.
as a person, because Tom Taylor humanizes them. He doesn't just make them this mythos. No, like he doubles down and makes them human. And it's so good, and it's so worth it, and it's so painful, and that's what makes it beautiful. So Tom Taylor, I raise my glass to you.
100% to you, brother.
Everybody, we have 2 more mainline books in this series that we are not going to touch on tonight, because we can't do it justice and keep everybody viewing.
Right.
I want to thank everybody for being here. We're not going to. So the next episode, we're going to be doubling down because it is spooky month. So we are going to be doing spooky books next episode. Yep. However, Deceased, we're not done with whatsoever.
No, we're definitely going to come back.
Yep. But I want to, this is me issuing a challenge. I'm throwing down the gauntlet to all of you. Please, please, please go out and read this book, so that when we're talking about it next time, you can sit there in the comments and say, yeah, man, I know that hurt me too.
Or if we mess something up, be like, actually, that's not what happened. That's what happened.
Yes, please. Yeah. You know, because we're like, we read all this stuff and we are also reading other stuff. So it's easy to get stuff confused. We try not to just sit there and read the book to you.
Right. That's what we don't want to do. And I've said it a bunch, but I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want a book report show, because I know you guys don't want a book report show. No one wants that.
Exactly. But seriously, go out the deluxe hardcover singular, because it's just a single omnibus now, right?
No, it's not an omnibus. It's just it's just Deceased, but it's in an oversized format, because this This book had gone out of, I think it's out of print or it's
Okay,
sold out or
gotcha.
whatever, but they just
Right.
released the deluxe bigger version. It's this
Right on.
oversized art,
Cool.
and I think there's like more supplementary like
Okay,
sketch
cool.
pages,
Oh,
script
yeah.
pages, all that fun stuff. So I mean, like it's definitely
My
for your
favorite,
collector right
actually.
there. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love all that stuff. I mean, like they have some really cool stuff in the back of these, and like I'm super stoked with these. I love
Right.
the foil embossed spines and all
Yes.
the
Yeah.
artwork on it is just incredible, man.
Yeah.
I can't recommend these. If you can find these,
Right.
definitely get these. But
Yeah.
the DC's deluxe hardcover just came out. I
Right.
cannot recommend it enough.
So go
But
out
yeah,
and read. So we have just for your required reading, you've got Deceased released 2019. Then there is Dead Planet, The Unkillables, Hope at World's End, and War of the Undead Gods. So go out and read all 5 of those books.
Yes.
You have 2 weeks, or sorry, 4 weeks minimum. You have a month.
yeah.
You
Before
have
the
a
end of the
month.
month, yeah.
Yeah. So, because like I said, we're going to be doing Spooky Month on the next episode, and we're going to be diving into a bunch of crazy good horror books.
Right there.
But seriously, go out and read The
All right
Deceased.
here, and they're in order.
Yep.
Deceased, Hope at World's End, Unkillables, Dead Planet, and War of the Undead Gods.
Yep.
In that order. Read it. Tell us about it. You can hit us up at boywonderspod@gmail.com. We'll take any gripes, any what we can do better, what you think we nailed, any suggestions of what we should cover. Please hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah.
Also, you can follow us on Instagram at the Boy Wonders Pod. And we're working on making a Facebook, but I don't even know if we're really gonna mess with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, just because we don't get a lot of traffic on Facebook personally.
Right.
So
Yeah. No.
we'll figure it out.
Yep.
We'll probably just make social for everything just to cover all of our bases. But yeah, you can find us here,
Yep.
2 weeks from now. And as always, guys, comics are rad. Have a good night.
See you guys
Thank you.
next time. Peace.